Hi there guys, it's Aaron here from Console Deals, back again to cap off your week with... You've guessed it, it's yet another unboxing video. But what have I got for you this time? Well, it's something very special indeed, because obviously one of the most popular unboxing videos we've had on the channel is for the PS4 Fusion Pro controller from the lovely guys over at PowerA, and they've just recently announced, around about a month ago, a couple of weeks maybe, that the Nintendo Switch will be getting a version, and they've only gone and sent it to me here. So this, obviously, the Fusion line of PowerA controllers designed at competitive gamers, those who want a pro gamepad solution, which is quite interesting when you start getting into the realm of Nintendo Switch players. So I thought we'd take a look and unbox it for you today before I dive into my general impressions. So without further ado, let's dive straight on in with the unboxing. So here we are guys with the big beautiful box. Obviously PowerA always do a top job at packaging together their products. You've got a detailed breakdown on the back of all the different features that the control offers you. I'll give you a bit of a deeper dive into that a little later on, but for now let's slide this out, and as you can see you've got a lovely hardshell case waiting right for you. So let's pop it out of the box and take a deeper look. Anybody who did watch the PS4 Fusion Pro controller video have some idea what to expect. You obviously got your safety information on the side there. But for now, let me unzip this thing. And whether or not you plan on traveling, you know, a hardshell case always a good thing to have. If you drop this with your controller in it, it's gonna keep it well protected for sure. So obviously you'll get multiple thumbstick options because it is a Pro controller. This one you only have 4 in total. You know, some with a convex top and one with a whatever the opposite, the concave top, to give you option there. You've obviously got your 9-foot braided cable here, USB-A to USB-C. So should ever you need to charge the controller, it offers 30 hours on a single charge, which is a lot. You've got your back replacement here. So this obviously has remappable buttons. If you don't want to have to contend with them, you can always swap it out. I'll show you how that's done a little bit later on. But here is the star of the show. And there are those 4 remappable beauties on the back there. But overall, it's a very sleek looking product. Soft touch, matte. Yeah, there's a lot to like. So just taking a look at the controller by itself, everything feels very nice. It's a similar look and shape to the official Nintendo Switch Pro controller. You've got a lovely D-pad. The triggers do feel very satisfying to click, even if they don't offer multiple hair trigger locks, which I'll go deeper into a little bit later on. You've got 3.5mm jack, so you can use it with headphones. You don't have to plug them directly into your Switch, which is a very nice touch. And yeah, you can obviously use all 4 of these once you program them using the buttons, and you can just detach it there. Easily done. So the lower button, from what you can see there guys on the top, is to lock this back attachment in place, whether or not you want the buttons or not. The top button is to program the buttons themselves, which is a very simple process, done similarly to how most Pro controllers handle it. But generally it's got a nice look and feel. And as mentioned, you know, you can use all 4 of these, but it's just as easy to take any of them off. So if you just want to use the 2, it's easily done. You click it back in. And then finally, obviously, if you're going to be wanting to change your thumbsticks around, you're going to need to take the faceplate off. So it's magnetized, easily done. You can see the sort of ports there sticking out. And it's as simple as popping either of the 2 off, looking at the innards, and then, you know, popping the next one on. So this one's a bit taller. I believe it's got the same convex top, but, you know, by using a taller thumbstick, your aim sensitivity improves. So if you're a professional gamer, you want to play something like Fortnite, and you want that edge, you just stick this one in. So obviously this is the first time I've done this. It's proves a bit stiff to begin with, but once you're in, it's all good. And it's as simple as slipping the faceplate back on. That's one thing I really like about this Fusion line. It's just so simple and so easy, and it's got a good feel. So if you want to turn your camera, you want it smoother, that's how it's done. Now I just thought I'd compare this to the official Pro controller. The Fusion is much heftier, but as you can see there's not a lot of difference here. The only real difference is the remappable buttons on the back, so very familiar indeed. And then obviously the PS4 controller was sent to me not too long ago. Which one's it going to be in? Not this one. This is the Nintendo Switch one we're discussing today. So I just thought I'd show you the general differences. There's a lot that's similar design for the Remappable Pro Pack, similar sense of heft. and you've got the rubberized grips underneath as well, so it very much feels like it's part of the same family line as you'd expect. If you want to go collect these for each of your consoles, you're going to be pleased. And then one final surprise, which you may or may not already know, you want to know what's under this flap, and it is another faceplate. So you've got the choice of having this coated in soft finish black or white, and you'll notice that the orange rims in the middle there, they're anti-friction, so it should make for a smoother turn of the camera. The black faceplate has this as well, but it's a bit more understated. And whereas previous Fusion Pro controllers, particularly with the PS4 one, you'd have to detach those little rims, here PowerA have been really clever and they've just said, go on, give them 2 faceplates, and it's easily done like that. And like I said, it's just so easily done. You can snap it off, snap it back at any one time. Obviously, if you're going to use the white cover, it'll attract a bit more dirt, so you need to be careful. But overall, guys, there's a lot to love about the Fusion Pro Switch controller. Okay, guys, so now we've had a proper look inside the box, let's talk about what I think about the Fusion Pro Nintendo Switch wireless controller from PowerA. So I've got it here, and overall it won't surprise you to hear that it's good news. This is an exceptional Nintendo Switch Pro controller option, mainly because it retains all the hallmarks of the official Nintendo Switch Pro controller that you can buy, obviously, directly from Nintendo, but also because you get some slight new additions to the controller as well. So the first thing you'll notice is that it stays very true to the established Pro controller style from the outset, whereas the PS4 version of the Fusion Pro controller sort of like distance itself quite away in terms of how the DualShock 4 looked, in terms of, the touchpad, and you've got the hair trigger locks. This is a very traditional Nintendo Switch controller design, which may end up disappointing some, but for me, I think, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. PowerA have been smart to recognize that Nintendo have nailed how to create a perfect controller, so by officially licensing the design and giving their own spin on it, I think they're onto a winner. So what's new in terms of the Fusion Pro? Well, the first thing to mention is that it's incredibly comfortable to hold. It's got a hefty sense of weight to it, which I appreciate from a premium product like this, and it's also got injected rubber grips on the underside of the controller, which is something that the official Pro controller lacks. So when you're gripping this in the hand, when you're playing it for extended play sessions, it does indeed feel like a top quality product. And if if your hands ever get slippery, I know I mention this all the time, I'm not one of those people, but if you get yourself in a sweat when you're after that last Apex Legends win, you can be assured that the Fusion Pro controller has got your back. Another thing is obviously the Pro Power Pack. So you get 4 remappable buttons here. You would have seen it in the unboxing, and it's styled very similarly to the PlayStation 4 version. So if I'll just hold it up in front of the camera there, you can see that obviously all 4 of these buttons easily programmable, and it simply attaches onto the back of the Fusion Pro purely via the magnetic connection there, so it snaps on rather neatly. It's also wireless, but it does come with a 9-foot braided cable as well, USB to USB-C. So if you want to play wired while you're waiting for it to charge, it does that, even though it can store up to an impressive 30 hours on a single charge. Can't quite remember how that matches up in terms of the official Nintendo Switch Pro controller, but that's going to be more than enough for about 4 or 5 play sessions in terms of me. So overall, I really like it. Another way it sort of differentiates itself from the PS4 version is that you get these anti-friction rings still around the thumbsticks, but unlike the PS4 version where you actually have to take off the faceplate, attach the new rings, PowerA have kind of simplified it for the Switch version, and they're instead just grafted onto the faceplate there. So you can see on the white version you've got the orange anti-friction rings around there, so you always have a smooth glide whenever you're turning your camera in game or indeed moving your character, which I think it's quite an understated feature, but I like that they've got it there. Obviously it doesn't cost them too much, it's just an extra thin layer of plastic, but a little touch can go a long way, especially in the world of controllers. So what is the Fusion Pro lacking? So like I said, it's got all the basic functions of PowerA's traditional Fusion Pro line. It's got all the basic functions of the official Pro Nintendo Switch controller, right down to the motion gyroscopic aiming. So when you want to aim, and I've been playing Resident Evil 6 recently. Don't ask. But whenever I want to line up a shot perfectly on that, I can use the gyroscopic aiming, and PowerA have been sure to build that into this one. It's really nice. One thing it does lack, however, is quite a big deal, are the 3-way hair trigger locks on the is it the RT? No, the ZL. ZL and ZR. Yeah, triggers. You know, whereas in competitive gaming, that can substantially increase your time to kill in terms of when you're aiming down the sights in games like Call of Duty Warzone. Here, I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe Nintendo wouldn't allow it. You know, PowerA submitted the design and they checked off everything except from that. Maybe they want to keep a level playing field if you play games like Fortnite or Apex Legends or even Splatoon 2 on Nintendo Switch. But yeah, for whatever reason, the Fusion Nintendo Switch version just doesn't come with those, so you're unfortunately stuck with the same distance. I say unfortunately, you're still getting the same great satisfying sense of feedback there. It taps really nicely, and the D-pad is also really good as well while I mention it. But apart from that, guys, the only other negative I guess I would say, which isn't really a negative because it's par for the course for third-party Nintendo Switch controllers, is that it isn't compatible with PC. I think I noticed in the comments when I unboxed PowerA's Nano Nintendo Switch controller, somebody in the comment section was asking whether or not it works with PC, but for whatever reason, unlike the PS4 version of this controller, which is wireless, that works with PC. For whatever reason, Nintendo, they just don't want to give the PC players any love, which is a bit crazy if you ask me, because, you know, you're serving two audiences then. You know, mainly use it for your Nintendo Switch, but then if you want to jump online, obviously developers are already programming their games to make use of these buttons because of the Xbox controller support. So yeah, still baffles me, but for the most part, you cannot go wrong with the Fusion Pro Nintendo Switch controller. So what is this going to cost you? Well, it has a traditional retail RRP in the UK at around about £99, which I understand is like £30 more expensive than the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. But when you take into account, you know, you've got the 4 programmable buttons you can add onto the back, the injected rubberized grips, and of course, you know, the faceplate swapping, which is a nice touch, and just general ease of use and comfort. It's a very comfortable product to use. I think, you know, a £30 price hike or a premium on the traditional first-party Nintendo Switch controller sounds about right to me. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch Fusion Pro wireless controller from PowerA? Do you plan on picking this up? Did you enjoy this review? If you did, either of those things, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. But until next time, like this video if you did indeed like it, subscribe to the channel because I've still got a boatload of stuff accessories manufacturers have been sending me that I need to unbox, and hopefully you'll want to hear about. But yeah, until next time, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for watching, and happy gaming!